Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today sitting down for a CD Projekt Red news update, and yesterday they shocked the world when they announced a brand new Witcher game. We're now in a post-Cyberpunk 2077 world, and when I saw the amount of hype off the wall for this game, I was kind of surprised, I'm not going to lie. I thought to myself, people are probably going to be snarky, they're going to be mean about this whole thing, but a lot of people are excited to see CD Projekt Red return to the Witcher franchise. And they're making some changes on the tech front that are more significant than I think people will give credence to. So we're going to dive into all of that and the surrounding information in a big news update for CD Projekt Red. If you're new here and you're looking for more updates, whether it be on the Witcher front or it be on the Cyberpunk front, you're in the right place. For once, we're not talking about Cyberpunk when it comes to CD Projekt Red, so that's a pleasant surprise. Let's get into this brand new announcement that came through their own official website, where they have this post here with a wolf medallion in the snow saying a brand new saga begins. They write, "We're happy to announce that the next installment in the Witcher series of video games is currently in development, kicking off a new saga for the franchise. This is an exciting moment as we're moving from REDengine to Unreal Engine 5, beginning a multi-year strategic partnership with Epic Games. It covers not only licensing, but technical development of Unreal Engine 5, as well as potential future versions of Unreal Engine, where relevant. We'll closely collaborate with Epic Games developers, with the primary goal of being to help tailor the engine for open world experiences. At this point, no further details regarding the game, such as a development time frame or release date, are available. REDengine, the technology which powers Cyberpunk 2077, is still being used for the development of the upcoming Cyberpunk 2077 expansion." So the first thing I saw a lot of people asking was, why are they announcing it so early then? They announced this game, the tech, no real details behind it. Why didn't they learn from Cyberpunk 2077, where they're like announcing this game in 2012 and people thought the game was in development for like 8 years when it wasn't? But these are announcements for hiring to get more people in-house to say like, hey, the game we're working on next, if you join here, you get to work on The Witcher. But more interesting, absolutely, is this switch from REDengine to Unreal Engine 5. Why would you move from your own in-house engine to Unreal Engine? As a business, you sacrifice revenue splits, and CD Projekt Red has shown us that is their number one priority when releasing Cyberpunk 2077, going, let's capitalize on that holiday window and all the hype and release right here in December of 2020, right? So why would they suddenly sacrifice that to then allow licensing fees to creep in for Unreal Engine 5? I think the reality is that REDengine may have given them more trouble than we already know about when it came to developing Cyberpunk 2077. Now, it's not quite like the infamous Frostbite tech, which BioWare has been well known for saying, it doesn't help us make our type of games. Nowadays, it probably would be better because all the assets are built for it, but starting off, it was not an easy transition from Unreal Engine 3 and 4 to now Frostbite. It's just a world of a difference for developers. So I imagine here that there was probably something giving them grief here with the in-house engine, enough so that they went, you know what, we cannot have another catastrophic technical failure like that ever again. We need to bring in Epic with their engine, get help from their team of developers to make sure if we don't know what's going on here, we have experts on top of it. And to them, that revenue split is 100% worth it. And I don't understand why for a lot of companies it was never worth it. It's one reason why EA never took in the Unreal Engine, because they wanted to have Frostbite, because if they went to, say, Epic, you would have to give up a percentage, a split, to them when you hit a certain amount of sales, by the way, which most AAA games probably will generate that amount of revenue. So I thought to myself, this makes sense because you can likely override that, and if you have a better game, it'll have better legs, people will still buy it on sales. All in all, it's a win-win, but a lot of these companies focus on quarterly earnings now. What can we do to boost this quarter? And one of those smaller decisions that will result in a positive bonus at the end of the road would be keeping it your own engine, maximizing your profits. So again, I think this does speak to the technical mishap that is Cyberpunk. Speaking of which, CD Projekt Red does confirm that REDengine will still power Cyberpunk 2077 for its upcoming expansion. Which, thinking of that, makes me go, wait, we're getting updates on the next Witcher game before Cyberpunk. When you look at what's in limbo with their multiplayer stuff, when you look at the DLC, the delay of the next-gen update, the expansion, I always told people, I was like, look, them releasing this in February could be bad for them because it'll be in one year, out the other. People will move on to other things. Then Elden Ring drops, which undoubtedly pulled people away from, you guessed it, Cyberpunk, from games like Dying Light, from games like Horizon. It was just that dominant. And I know we couldn't have predicted that, but the reality is that this is why you got to get it right on your first time, when there is a window there, when people are anticipating you. When we've already seen you, less people are going to come in than ever before. So I kind of see this as, with the way we're getting these updates, that maybe this expansion's kind of just a one and done. Like, here's the expansion, we're out. I don't know how much more they'll be supporting Cyberpunk 2077. By the way, I would like to be wrong. I love the Witcher series, but I do, for all intents and purposes, like the Cyberpunk universe much more. It spoke to me more. I really enjoyed the story more, the characters more, the gameplay more. Like, I enjoyed a lot of things about Cyberpunk more than The Witcher. Not that The Witcher is bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's gold standard AAA RPG development, The Witcher 3, 100%. But my gosh, just Cyberpunk really just clicked with me on a different level. So with that announcement of the Epic partnership, you may be asking yourself, well, what's going on with exclusivity on storefronts? Don't worry, the confirmation has already come in a manner of speaking. We'll talk about why I said in a manner of speaking. The Witcher Twitter account says we are not planning on making the game exclusive to one storefront. You know me, I don't like the word planning because it means that there's openness on it possibly happening. Will it happen? Likely not, because they're coming out and saying it, but they also came out and said a lot of things before Cyberpunk 2077. We don't know how this partnership will progress, the financial security they may need through Epic by saying like, hey, look, we'll throw you $20 million to put it on our storefront. They'll be like, whoa, that much? Okay. Right? Like, Epic could swoop in and give them a big stack of cash. So them committing this early to a certain extent won't look good. But they're saying they're planning. They're not planning to do it right now. So there's a little bit of an open door. But otherwise, they're certainly saying right now, no exclusivity. Also, a little bit of information on a different front is the director for the game, Jason Slama, who writes, I am super thrilled to announce that I have been humbly working to ensure the success of the next big AAA The Witcher game as its game director. Think you could join the team? We have tons of roles open with the possibility of remote work that we could discuss. So kind of like I said earlier, hiring level announcement, getting people in the building, getting that excitement going, saying, hey, the next thing we're doing, it's not that Cyberpunk that everyone crapped on. No. We're working on The Witcher. You can join the Witcher team. So with that, let's move to the tech front again, where CD Projekt Red offered some interesting comments and quotes about their reasoning for a partnership with Epic Games, where they say, one of the core aspects of our internal Red 2.0 transformation is a much stronger focus on technology, aka polishing their games, and our cooperation with Epic Games is based on this principle. CD Projekt Red CTO Paul Zawadny said, from the outset, we did not consider a typical licensing agreement. Both we and Epic see this as a long-term fulfilling tech partnership. It is vital for CD Projekt Red to have the technical direction of our next game decided from the earliest possible phase, as in the past, we spent a lot of resources and energy to evolve and adapt REDengine with every subsequent game release. This cooperation is so exciting because it will elevate development predictability and efficiency while simultaneously granting us access to cutting-edge game development tools. I can't wait to see the great games we're going to create using Unreal Engine 5. Epic has been building Unreal Engine 5 to enable teams to create dynamic open worlds at an unprecedented scale and level of fidelity, said founder and CEO of Epic Games, Tim Sweeney. We are deeply honored by the opportunity to partner with CD Projekt Red to push the limits of interactive storytelling and gameplay together, and this effort will benefit the developer community for years to come. So much like I said, REDengine gave them trouble, but I found it kind of interesting that they alluded to the fact that they had to redo the engine, overhaul it, if you will, for every release they did, right? When you look at The Witcher 2, to The Witcher 3, to Cyberpunk, they all look and feel like completely different games. Like the fact that REDengine felt like a competent first-person shooter, but was also a decent third-person action-adventure open-world game with RPG elements, what a flexible tool set there. I do commend the REDengine. I don't think it's that bad, but clearly they wanted to have something more steady with a team behind it that they could rely on more. And I don't blame them. After Cyberpunk, you just can't have that happen again. So it makes sense, even if it's at a potential licensing cost, which they do say here that from the outset, they did not consider a typical licensing arrangement because they see this as a long-term tech partnership. So I don't know if that dismisses anything I was saying earlier about any licensing fees. We won't know that probably ever, but still really interesting stuff here. So that's all we've got for CD Projekt Red and the latest on The Witcher 4, what they're doing with the brand new engine, and I'm very excited to see what they do next. I know a lot of people are not crazy about Cyberpunk. Maybe they're more so now because finally the game is in a decent state, but I am just excited to see more CD Projekt Red. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who support the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.